Canning isn't as popular in our generation, but it's a wonderful way to get fork tender meat every time. And it's super easy. I'm going to show you just how to do it yourself. For a raw pack, remove all fat and sinew. Next, we're going to cut it into 1 to 2 inch cubes. Just try to keep them nice and even. All right, next we're going to fill these sterilized jars, leaving about 1 inch of headspace. We'll be filling 8 of these jars because that's what fits for 1 batch in our pressure canner. Now you don't want to pack this meat down. There may be a little bit of airspace and that's just fine. We've got all 8 jars full and we're just going to add a ½ teaspoon of salt to each jar. You want to use non-iodized salt. The best is canning and pickling salt. Now we're ready for lids. These new lids have just been sterilized in hot water. I'm using this neat little canning gadget here that just keeps the lid process hands-free. And now the rings. These don't have to be new, but they do have to be cleaned. We're going to screw those on fairly firmly, not as tight as you can, but they will loosen up a little bit in the canner. All right, it's time for the canner to do the work. Place the jars evenly. You don't want the glass to be touching. Secure the lid on the canner. One thing I like about this canner is it's a metal-to-metal seal, and you don't have to worry about an aging rubber seal. The canner has come to full temperature and steam has been escaping for 7 minutes. We're ready to put the 10-pound pressure weight on. Now you want to be checking that pressure gauge to maintain 10 pounds of pressure for 75 minutes. You can adjust your heat as needed, but try to keep it in that 10-pound range. Be sure to never let this number go over 15. The pressure has reached 0, so now it's safe to take the lid off. First thing we're going to do is remove the weight and unscrew the lid. Another great tool when canning is a jar lifter, and this allows us to reach in and safely grab those hot jars. Look at that venison, fully cooked and ready to eat. We can tighten this lid down just a little bit, and it's ready for shelf storage. The last thing I'll do is just check to make sure each jar sealed. If a jar doesn't seal, you can go ahead and eat that right away, or you can keep it in your refrigerator for up to 3 days. And canning meat is that easy. So with just a few pieces of equipment, we've got venison here that'll be shelf stable for years.